gathered with most talented individuals from the industry, like I said, from all over the planet.
We don't think only IPFS or even only Torah. It's inevitable that multiple distributed storage providers will survive and share the market.
The Torah project going is, first, it's important to know that the Web 3.0 landscape.
Hello everyone, welcome to Torah Network. Today we're going to have a global DAO seminar. Our DAO community contributors Dan, Taylor, and Lindsay will share their insights and giving us our presentation about the Torah project. Let's begin. Okay, the first contributor, Taylor. Taylor, could you say hi to the audience?
Yes, hello everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So Taylor is a tech-focused investment analyst after graduating from Indiana University's Kelley School of Business, and went on to spend the first few years of his career as an analyst at Goldman Sachs. Since he transitioned into VC investing with a focus on early stage tech startups, investing in technology companies with a positive mission to his mission. And that's why he's so excited about a Torah project. Also, we have Dan here. Hi. Hello, Dan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. Dan is also our contributor. He is a software engineer and entrepreneur. He began his career in technology at Google after graduating from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. He has led a few greenwich initiatives across Silicon Valley. His passion is work with companies that are creating a positive impact on the environment. And that is why he's excited about the Torah project. Dan Adams will apply his experience in Torah's carbon neutrality initiative. And also we have Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi, How are you doing? Can you hear me? Perfect,
okay.
There we go.
Okay. Also our Torah DAO contributor. She has been working in the startup marketing for over half a decade. She joined her first startup in San Francisco. She's still deeply connected to the tech startup marketing community in San Francisco and has found a home in the blockchain industry. She's excited to play a role in bringing Torah's next age data storage solution to the world. And with her connection in the marketing community, Torah will have a strong marketing strategy. First, let's start with our Vortex Protocol. The first part is the Vortex Protocol. Hey, Taylor?
Yeah, great. So I just wanted to start with, what is the Vortex Protocol? So Torah's Vortex Protocol is going to iterate over the existing storage methods that there are out there. And according to the basic structure of C60, this original protocol is going to use partial storage in order to form a more complete closed loop. And the carbon emissions when it comes to crypto mining is a key issue that we've been aware of. And in the case of Bitcoin, for example, it deploys an incredible 707 kilowatts per hour of electricity per transaction, which is 11 times as much as Ethereum. And that emits over 1,060 pounds of CO2 every time you tap the app in order to do anything with Bitcoin, like buying a latte or sending money to a friend. And these carbon emissions are caused by crypto mining, and they've been a massive obstacle for the development of the entire crypto industry, and really challenges its legitimacy. So the Torah network, in supporting this distributed data storage, is using extra storage space coming from personal computers that are spread across the globe. And the way in which this technology works is a long-term solution that's going to help reduce carbon emissions during the crypto mining process. And then carrying off of that, what does carbon neutrality have to do with Torah? So by enabling distributed energy sharing, which is combining both distributed and intelligent contract system functions, in order to establish distributed energy transactions, data management, information security, and other scenarios. So by providing these distributed energy sharing functions, we can work towards carbon neutrality goals. Next is the proof of data interaction. So the POD idea optimizes the data storage process on the basis of proof of capacity technologies. For each of the Vortex nodes within the network, the storage data file is first fragmented, then encrypted, distributed, and because of that, the files are low carbon, energy reduced, and decentralized.
Yeah, so I'll jump in here. And I kind of wanted to talk about the metaverse and the NFT. The metaverse can be said to be one of the most popular concepts in the entire blockchain industry right now, and even the internet industry recently. Users can create NFT projects on Torah, NFT deployment platforms in a few clicks. They can store the data on Torah in the distributed storage system. And we can imagine the data storage. We can imagine the data storage demand in the upcoming metaverse era. The traditional centralized data storage will be a disaster. Decentralized data storage with great stability is a must. And upcoming, we have an NFT box drop, and the total supply of that is 10,000, and the date is still to be determined. And if you're interested, please pay close attention to our official Discord and Telegram group. The other exciting thing is we have a game, an NFT themed game. It's based on clean energy, and it will be launching very soon. The game is called Energy Guardian. It's a competitive game, ecological platform focusing on the field of metaverse blockchain games. It's a blockchain game based on Web 3.0. It aims to attract more people to participate in green mining games to achieve carbon peak and carbon neutral goals. Energy Guardian cultivates players' interest in carbon neutral in the way of a game, presenting an immersive NFT mining metaverse universe game experience with rich connotation and high playability.
Oh, okay, Lindsay?
Thank you. So I'd love to step in and just talk a little bit about the vision that Torah is going for in 2022. And as Web 3.0 becomes more talked about, more prevalent, and becomes the future, Torah plans to be a part of that. And so we aim to become actually not just a part of it, but actually a leader in the Web 3.0 era. And I believe that there will be this constantly shifting landscape in the 3.0 era, and we saw applications growing exponentially in the 2.0 era, and we're thinking that, as we move forward to this new era, Web 3.0, that will be the same thing that will happen again over the next few years. Torah Network plans to be an essential part of the Web 3.0 infrastructure because it provides distributed data storage with not only great reliability, but also great accessibility. And one of Torah's key visions is to promote energy saving and carbon neutrality. Torah actually is one of the first blockchain-based projects that wholly tries to embrace carbon neutrality goals as well as act on them. And we hope that with our efforts, in turn, will become an industry standard someday, and we can set an example for other companies as well. Absolutely, Torah plans on a busy 2022 ahead, and we're planning lots of upcoming events with Polygon and other projects as well. Partnership is going to be a very huge, important part of our ecosystem growth, and we provide infrastructure for other projects to grow. So it's important to foster these relationships that can help us grow our network as well, so that we can be mutually beneficial. And along with that, building community is crucial as well. So Torah plans to produce and co-produce NFT and metaverse games to attract users to join our community. And as our community continues to grow, we hope that Torah's influence and reputation will grow as well, because a strong community is a huge plus for us to expand our ecosystem.
Most asked questions. The first one is, where will you see your Torah project, and how will the environment of the crypto space change over the next few years? Taylor, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, I can take that one. That's a great question. So in terms of where we see the Torah project going is first, it's important to know that the Web 3.0 landscape is going to be rapidly shifting. With the advent of Web 3.0, we're going to see applications coming out at a fast pace, just like we saw in the Web 2.0 era. So meanwhile, the Torah network is aiming to be an essential component of the Web 3.0 infrastructure. Being that there's going to be so many new applications and so many new technologies, Torah's goal is to provide massive data storage in distributed systems with great reliability and accessibility for all of these new technologies.
Great. And for the second questions, okay. So what are the plans to educate and raise awareness and adoptions among the community to make more people understand about Torah easily, even for beginner?
I could answer that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, initially we will be focusing on the developer community, since they're kind of the early explorers to the new technology. And meanwhile, we're going to promote the Torah network through the NFT and the metaverse game to attract regular users. Additionally, we will connect with more public chains such as Polygon to grow our network and increase publicity. And we have many partnerships in the works, and we're going to see more events evolving these three routes throughout 2022.
Okay, excellent. Okay, the next question. Okay. That question is about the community building. How do you rate the importance of user community? Does the Torah project have any special programs to connect and expand the community?
I'd be happy to take this one. So as we've talked about, community building is crucial. And Torah will produce and also co-produce NFT and metaverse games to attract users to join our community. And as this community grows, we're hoping that Torah's influence will also grow, because a strong system or a strong ecosystem starts with a strong community.
Okay, the next one. Okay, question 4. So, what does Torah think is the best way to reach regular users? Does the crypto side of things scare them off and need to be pre-hidden by more game aspects?
I can take that one. So because of that concept, actually, that's why the gaming and NFT gaming is essential for playability and not just speculation. So we're going to focus on being able to make a good game, so that players will focus on the game instead of speculation opportunities and looking for quick profits. And for us, in order to achieve that, we're working in a partnership with AAA Studios in order to co-produce the first AAA NFT game.
Next question. Okay, this one I think is a good question. It's basically like saying from Torah Go, which states that we cannot equate Torah with other blockchain projects. Give me a reason why I should not equate Torah with other blockchain.
Yeah, that is a good question. So firstly, I would say, the market is huge enough to sustain multiple distributed storage systems. In the traditional internet industry, we have, Amazon Cloud, Microsoft Cloud, Google Cloud, and these companies are proof of the wide-scale demand for storage solutions. The same situation applies in Web 3.0. We don't think only IPFS or even only Torah. It's inevitable that multiple distributed storage providers will survive and share the market. And really, Torah is unique in its ability to provide an easily understandable user experience, as well as our unique focus on energy saving and carbon neutrality.
Okay, next question. Okay, this one is about centralization and decentralization. It's a really hot topic. Like, how do you overcome the threat of centralization in Torah, and what is the main difference between Torah and other platforms? I think mostly about like how do you achieve decentralization?
Yeah, sure. I can take that one. Oh, okay, Lindsay, you can take it.
So on a technical level, Torah is furthest away from centralization. And we know that, but we are natively decentralized since all of our data storage nodes have been distributed in different hard drive spaces across the entire globe.
Okay, that question is about what inspired Torah. So what inspired you and us to start Torah? Why should I buy and whole Torah? I think mostly we just like, what's the inspiration behind this project? What do you guys?
Yeah, I can take that one.
Okay, the inspiration.
So part of the inspiration, well, I guess let's start from where we started. So Torah started in 2018, and it was particularly because Torah's founding team had realized two things, both a risk as well as a demand or an opportunity. So with the risk, we were particularly concerned with the energy demand that was required by blockchain projects like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and their corresponding impact on the environment and on the global ecology. So that was one thing we wanted to solve. And then as for a demand or an opportunity, what we were particularly excited about was the rise of Web 3.0. So, recognizing that the Web 3.0 requires new scaling solutions, new gaming applications, new blockchains, and many more technologies. And we recognize that because of that rise, there's going to be a huge demand for decentralized storage systems. And that's where we come in. And both that risk and the opportunity is what led us to coming up with the idea of Torah.
Okay, the next question is, that question is pretty long. Like, too many projects promise magic, but never release any working product or prove any revenue. Within a short or long time of release, is your project also like this? If not, can you tell us what makes your project different from other projects?
Yeah, sure. So, Torah is firstly a tech-oriented project, but not only that, we are also user-oriented. So it's a high entry field. We have a better user base compared with other distributed storage systems, and we provide a very user-friendly application. It only takes 5 minutes to install it. And we've also invested in NFT games that will provide long, sustainable user growth.
Oh, that part is impressive. Like, definitely, like a lot of the crypto investors, and when they join some of the project and try to use the applications, we will all kind of have a similar experience. It's very painful. You have to set up the environment, install a bunch of dependencies, and it takes forever. And like Torah provides an application, like if it takes only 5 minutes, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, is important.
Yes. Okay, let's check the next question. The crypto industry is a fast-paced industry. How flexible is your project to change quickly and keep pace with technology trends? What's your long-term vision for the forecasting industry in which your project operates?
Well, our team is from all around the world, and our team also operates as a DAO. We have amazing contributors who have different specialties from up to 20 different countries. And we have absolutely no doubt that our team will keep up with the technology trends. In terms of long-term vision, Torah DAO will become a global organization that gathered with most talented individuals from the industry, like I said, from all over the planet.
Okay, great. Next, then pick how many questions? Okay, let's just pick like 2 more questions, and one of them is about a partnership. Partnership is always an important factor for every project. So, who is a partner? What are the benefits you get from those relationships?
Yeah, so first of all, in 2022, we're going to be planning a lot of different events and partnerships. Particularly right now, there's one that comes to mind is that we're planning events with Polygon. Polygon is the blockchain that we're built upon, and they're going to be essential towards our long-term growth. And we recognize that since we provide a service to other applications and to other blockchain technologies, that partnership is going to be very important for our ecosystem's growth, because their users are going to be our users. And so since we provide infrastructure for other projects, we're really going to focus on building out this network and providing a mutually beneficial relationship with other projects.
Okay. Okay, last question. Okay, last question is about marketing, but it's more very similar to the question 9, but okay. The marketing is a central element for every project, so that everyone knows the potential that a project can bring is vital to achieve the goal set. What's your strategy to attract new users and investors to a platform and keep them long term?
Yeah, I mean, I could take this one.
Okay.
So the one thing that I mentioned earlier, obviously, is Energy Guardian, which is the NFT game, and that's very important for users to play and earn. And another thing that we have is the hackathon event for more developers to join our network with their projects. And I guess the third thing here is we have cooperation with other projects to grow our ecosystem.
Okay, and that's all the questions we picked today. And next, we're gonna have a discussion just about some really broad topic. The first one I would like to talk about like the Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin had a crash recently for the last week. So what's your guys' opinion? Like, how will Bitcoin perform especially in Q1 2020? What do you guys think?
So I can jump in on that. So, obviously right now there's a lot of long-term factors that are kind of weighing down a bit on Bitcoin's momentum. So, over the last year, there's been a lot of geopolitical issues that relate to the performance of Bitcoin, such as China cracking down on cryptocurrency. Russia right now is, considering banning cryptocurrency, and these have held a lot of issues in terms of the legitimacy and how people recognize it. But personally, I believe, while things may hold it down in the short term, the technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is revolutionary, and it's creating many new different ways that we can, solve real world issues. So I'm not too worried about the long term. The short term might be rough, but the long term is always promising for Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, and also this morning, like ARK Investment, they predict like a huge number, like in 2030, I believe they believe Bitcoin price will reach like $1 million. Like that's like almost like 20 folds from now. So do you guys think that that's possible in long term?
Yeah, I could definitely, you could definitely argue that is possible. It's grown a lot just from its time that it started, and it seems like the long-term trend is people investing in crypto more and more each year.
I think the big differentiating factor over these next couple of years is definitely going to be institutional adoption. So seeing big traditional companies like Visa, or we've seen Venmo and PayPal adopt crypto technology. So continuing that trend will always bode positively for Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin is like an unprecedented technology, so really the sky's the limit. We'll never really know how far it can go.
And also, another interesting news, like this morning, I think it's yesterday, Elon Musk tweeted about like he would like a McDonald's to accept Dogecoin, which is kind of interesting. Like, what's your guys' opinion on this one?
I mean, I think definitely it could be possible. We've seen other companies in the past start to adopt certain cryptocurrencies and accept them, like one company in particular, Tesla. And even if it seems very, specific or random for McDonald's in particular to get into that, like I know, for example, recently they had their 40th anniversary of, I think it was like the bacon cheeseburger or something like that. And as part of the anniversary, they minted an NFT that was that meal. So they've definitely already shown interest trying to get into the industry. And so I think we'll definitely see more of that happening, as it starts to become more of the mainstream thing.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I can imagine like one day go to McDonald's, like they provide this option, the payment option, you can pay with Dogecoin. But say
I think actually the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, during the run-up of Dogecoin last year, they started accepting payments for Dogecoin, and as well, I think a couple of other retailers did as well. So I guess it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Nike's also been doing the same thing with some of the shoes that they put out. It's definitely crossing its way into all different industries, whether that be things that you would normally associate with cryptocurrency, or now we're seeing the food industry and also, I guess, the shopping industry.
I think there are a lot of payment technology company. They're trying to offer the solution, because if you actually pay with Dogecoin, even like with a fast transaction like a Solana or a Polygon, like for example Polygon, the cost is very low and it's also really fast. But if you do like a payment, like a microtransactions, the users, they're not that patient, right? 5 seconds is really fast, like for a blockchain network. But in a daily use, in a daily situation, when I go to McDonald's, probably I don't want to wait 5 or 10 seconds to confirm the transactions. My patience is like, it should, if it's not as fast as traditional electronic payment, that probably will prevent people to accept this new payment system. Like, but definitely someone is building a solution like to resolve this issue. Like, what do you guys think about this particular issue?
I think honestly that one of the biggest issues and barriers for blockchain technology, and what's going to be happening a lot with Web 3.0 is scaling solutions. So the barrier to entry with some of the crypto technologies is the speed of transactions, as well as the gas fees on the network, and how quickly and how cheaply these transactions can happen. So we've been and that's where Polygon comes in, and Solana and some of the newer networks, is in order to make transactions happen faster and cheaper. I think we've all seen the gas fees on Ethereum just go crazy. So I think a lot will happen with that in the next few years, and hopefully it should help encourage more general people that aren't using crypto to do so.
Okay. Dan just actually mentioned during the presentation about like in the future the distributed storage like market is huge. It will support like multiple distributed storage providers, just like it's kind of, I think it's a similar situation. Like right now, you have Amazon Cloud and Google Cloud, Microsoft Cloud, and also that there was a podcast when they were discussing the acquisition, made by Microsoft. They bought Activision Blizzard, and they were complaining about like how terrible the multiplayer experience on the current cloud computing, the cloud gaming platform. And I think that field is going to be, the demand for distributed storage is going to increase like exponentially. Right now, we only have very few, like not a lot of people playing NFT games, but I can imagine in the next few years, NFT games will just as popular as the traditional video games. By that time, the demand for distributed storage is gonna grow exponentially. So that's why then you mentioned like definitely there will be more than just one provider. So what's your guys' opinion on this topic?
Yeah, I can. So I mean, definitely exactly what you were talking about. Like we're seeing, I mean, part of that problem with, Blizzard having the issues with their storage system is because the demand is so high right now, and with the current trends, it's only going to get higher and higher. And already you see, the space is competitive with some of the bigger companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and as this scales up, it's kind of it's kind of just like anybody's for the taking. So we see that there's a lot of space in the market for these distributed storage systems, and I definitely see that Torah can be a player in that market.
And especially like you were talking about, I think already there was a demand as people just were playing these games for enjoyment. But in the future, as NFT games start to become more prevalent, I think the figure is something like 70 new games are already being created every single month. And so with that in mind, obviously, the volume right there just shows itself that the interest is absolutely there. And as people are moving from playing games for fun to, a P to E sort of a situation, I really think that the demand will continue to go up and up.
Yeah, definitely. Because I can imagine like it's gonna grow like exponentially because the gaming industry, like they always have a huge demand when it comes to like to consume bandwidth and also data storage. Right now, most of the NFT games just really casual light game on the web page. But what if like I know there are some AAA studios they're making like a serious like heavy game and also with NFT feature. So when that comes, I can imagine like if there is an NFT version World of Warcraft, like that's huge amount of data that to be stored on the network. So it's hard for us to imagine right now what would be like this. The network must be huge, and there's got to be some companies that provides distributed storage that will grow into a multi-billion-dollar business as well. And also, one of the big concern expressed by Elon Musk is the pollution and the carbon emission caused by traditional crypto mining. In order to maintain the network, like Bitcoin, constantly, they just purchase more mining machine and consume more electricity. So that part is I think is the greatest obstacle. So what's your guys' opinion about this one? Like the carbon emission caused by crypto mining?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely, and as shown by like mainstream media and the opinions of like traditional business, the inefficiency of mining on the Bitcoin network has definitely been one of the biggest barriers to mainstream adoption as well as traditional adoption from the traditional business community. So the good thing is that a lot of these new networks that are joining and kind of creating the Web 3.0 space, like Polygon, Solana, Cosmos, they're all much more efficient in their mining processes. And projects like Torah are also bringing that towards the decentralized application space by making their projects more energy efficient. But of course, at the end of the day, Bitcoin is always going to be relevant to the cryptocurrencies discussion for the foreseeable future. So I think it becomes important that big mining farms in the Bitcoin space are using renewable energy to a certain degree, and that other projects as Torah is leading the way focusing in the future to develop more sustainable projects.
Okay, I think the last topic, or I think we can talk about the one, yeah, especially the energy consumption, not only the carbon emission caused by crypto minings. I heard about that since last year, China banned the crypto activities, all the crypto mining activities in China. So all this large mining pool, they migrate to North America in particular. I heard about a lot of huge mining pools, they migrate to North America. But most of the energy they consume, like they just use traditional, traditional energy source, which is not environmental friendly. And a lot of people criticizing this is unnecessary consumption, because it's like a electricity tiger, it just consumes way too much energy, like the whole Bitcoin network. So there's some people that propose a solution, just use clean energy to do the mining, but personally, I don't think that's the way to go. Instead of you just try to find other source to provide energy. There should be a way. There should be an energy saving solution. So that's why the Torah is promoting this carbon neutrality, and also utilize free the free space from personal computers. And this part actually, there are other projects they tried this before, like one of the really popular P2P, like BitTorrent. They tried this. You can share movies, and I think in the future the network. They must provide an easy access. Accessibility is very important, because the traditional centralized servers, you got one server in North America, but if we're going to connect the server to the other, for example, in Asia, there's going to be a delay where the experience is not very good. But with distributed storage, I think we can provide it. Essentially, we can provide it, most importantly, a better user experience, more stable connection, especially when you play multiplayer online games. So what do you guys think about the Torah's product? What will it be like? Because right now, if you talk about Amazon Cloud, people have a clear image what does it do. In the future, if you talk about Torah, what will it be like?
In terms of what Torah will be like in the future, I think one of the big things, and we talked about this on the call, on the presentation as well, is number one, the opportunity with Web 3.0. So with Web 3.0, the concept is holistically shifting towards a cryptoverse in which decentralization becomes the norm. And with gamers moving over to GameFi and decentralized games where they can earn money, where people are moving their financial services over to DeFi and using decentralized finance, the mindset shifts towards trusting decentralization as the go-to, as the more secure way to do things. And with that, people will start to look towards decentralized distributed storage systems as the replacement for traditional storage systems. They're just much more efficient, and if people are storing their NFT games on decentralized servers or decentralized storage systems, they don't have to worry about Amazon Cloud making some sort of user error, or the files get manipulated or hacked or things like that. So I think that's really where the future lies with Torah, is meeting the demand for Web 3.0.
Okay,
and just meeting the demand for wallets for people in the future, because as we go forward, we're going to have people who are not only looking for everything that you were just talking about, but people who are looking for something very easy for them to start and get into, and just have that really good user-friendly ability. And outside of that, if we have people who are very particular about trying to be on top of their carbon footprint and stuff like that, Torah provides an in for them to be a part of something like that without having to worry about that part of it as well.
Okay, I think that's it, and that's all the discussion we're gonna have today. And also we're gonna launch our event event plan, and we are planning a hackathon in Silicon Valley in, I think, in March this year, and we will co-host this event with Polygon, and we will sponsor the winning project up to a million USDT. And the basic requirement for joining the hackathon event is your smart contract must be deployed on Polygon network and also utilize VP token from Torah network. And please stay tuned and join our Telegram and Discord group, and keep following us. And thank you guys. Thanks, Lindsay, Taylor, and Dan. And thanks for your sharing and great presentation, great conversation. And let's say goodbye to everyone, and we'll end this meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one. Bye. All right, that brings to the end of today's seminar. Hey guys, please follow our Torah Network Twitter and Discord. Join our Discord and Telegram, and stay tuned. We have a serious event upcoming. See you guys next time.